price too high?
No, I don't feel like it's too high at all.
Okay. What do you want?
I feel like I watch you and I listen to everything that you say. And I mean, I want a man that's definitely going to be able to pay the bills, like take care of me. But I still want to be able to have the option to work and do like my career, have a career and still have kids.
How many children do you want?
2.
Okay. So you want it all?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
I'm in North Georgia, like Gwinnett.
Okay. Well, are you currently seeing somebody right now that can pay your bills?
Nope, not at the moment.
When was the last relationship you had?
My last relationship was about 3 years ago. I was with him for 6 years.
And why didn't you guys get married for 6 years?
I met him in college and that was my first boyfriend. And so, yeah, I think we just went through a lot. And by the time we got to the end where we could possibly make something work, it just did not work.
Okay, how much money is a man going to need to make to be able to pay all the bills for a family of 4 in Atlanta?
Probably well over $400K.
Do you care if he's black or not?
No.
Yeah, but he will. The more money men tend to make, the more racially loyal they tend to be.
Okay.
What percentage of men in this country make $400,000 or more?
Oof, probably like.
She froze on me.
Oh.
What percentage of men in this country make over $400,000?
I would say maybe 2 to 4%. Probably not a lot.
1.
Okay.
1%.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to what you said. I feel, which is kryptonite. Men don't care about what you feel. We think, act, and do. You want it all. At 28 years old, with no men in the pipeline, and you want a top 1% man. What does a man who making the kind of money you're talking about making, what do those men typically want from a woman?
Youth, beauty. That's probably it. I wouldn't say submission.
Is that the TV or something?
Yeah, probably is a TV.
Turn it down, please? Yeah. No, the number one thing that men like that tend to want is cooperation. And a man who's making $400,000 a year, at what age do you think men make that legally?
Well over 35.
Well over 35. Men hit that financial stride between 45 and 55. Are you prepared to marry a man that's 45 years old or older?
No.
So you're a delusional black woman. You don't have any of this in your life. You don't have it in the pipeline. And not only do you want a man who's in the top 1%, you want him to be closer to your age, and then you want him to want what you want him to want.
Right.
So, if this was just a math problem, it seems to me that you don't know these men.
Well, I feel like I date men that are ambitious, maybe more so in my age, and then I've started to recently date a lot older men.
But you skip past the question. You don't know these men.
No, I don't know those men that make $500K. No.
You don't even know what they typically want. They typically want a traditional wife, which means your career. Let's due respect. Why do you need it if you're not paying any bills?
I mean, I still want my own sense of like being of who I am.
Buy a dog. See, careers are for outcomes. So you want it to look like I got my own sense. Your sense can be to be a wife to a productive, competitive, successful man and a successful mother to 2 children. Why is that not enough?
Why can I not have my career and have my kids and my husband?
Because you're not qualified.
What makes me unqualified?
You don't know these men. You don't even know what they want. They don't want what you want traditionally.
Mm-hmm.
You can want it, but this is where it comes right down to what makes you not qualified. When I talk to these men, they don't want modern women. Again, you want your husband to be making $400,000+. Who's going to raise your children what is your career?
Media correspondent.
Okay. So when you are off on site, where are the children going to be?
Daycare.
So somebody else is going to be raising his legacy.
Mm.
No. Then he might as well marry the nanny.
Mm.
See, this is this modern power couple. No. Men don't work 70, 80, 100 hours for 20 plus years to go marry a woman to just carry their children to allow a stranger to raise them.
Right.
So
So
your mother and father married? Are your mother and father married?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Was your father the majority breadwinner?
Mm-hmm.
What did your mother do?
She does admin stuff, but my mom they're both from Jamaica. So coming over here, she used to do Coventry Healthcare. So she used to do clerical stuff for them.
Okay, but your mother worked outside of the house?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have much respect for housewives?
I do. It's a full-time job. I have close friends that are doing that.
Okay, but the kind of men you're talking about would want a housewife more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're honest, what is the level at the end of your career, where would you like it to be?
My goal right now is to be like a Jeannie Mai. I want to be a personality that people come and listen to my opinions.
And Jeannie Mai on talk shows?
Yes.
Do you know about how her first marriage turned out?
I do.
Is she talking anything like you now?
Not now, no.
Exactly.
No.
Because it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. But she's still able to have a relationship and be a media correspondent.
Ma'am, she's talking nothing like you're talking now.
Mm.
Nothing. See, your priority, and you're free to choose it, is your media is going to be more important than your man and your family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any men who actually have made themselves the kind of men you're talking about who are not going, they're number one. Their purpose is number two. You're number three. You're looking, basically, the kind of man you're looking for would drive you up a wall. A beta male would allow a woman to be on top or be equal, and he's making all that money. I think you may have kind of figured what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But what makes you special? Where you can get this?
Well, I've listened to a lot of your things that you say, and you say that these men look for women that are attractive, take care of themselves, and are submissive. And I feel like I do hold a lot of those characteristics.
Okay, there are thousands of you.
Right.
So you're attractive, granted. Take care of yourself, granted.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also women who were raised to be first ladies, wives, not wanting to challenge. You want equality. Mm. You want your own identity. Then go work for marry. Then your man is the institution. Because you got to understand, if you have let's say you and I were married, and I'm making millions, and you're making what?
I would assume just as close to that.
No. Media correspondence, for whom?
Depends on where I land.
Right. For every Jeannie Mai, come on. Most of the journalists that I knew in school, they had to work free internships. Journalists are some of the brokest people in the world.
Oh, I know.
So let's not cap.
Okay.
You're talking about trying to be in the top 1/10 of the 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Most journalists is broke as French toast.
Mm-hmm.
So, earning what? Before your big break?
Before my big break, I would say probably 50.
50. Baby girl, that's the kind of man, 50 to a man that's making 400.
Mm-hmm.
That's just over 10% of what he's making. It will cost more to hire the nannies. New child infant care is $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a 1 and a 3-year-old, you're looking at $3,000.
So my question, Kevin, though, is because I've had a fork in the road where I either need to pick my career or pick whether I want to be a housewife.
Granted.
So it's getting into the rooms of being into the face of the men that I want to be in front of.
Uh-huh.
Right? And I don't know how to kind of articulate what I'm trying to say, but it's more so like I've been in front of men that make a lot of money. Uh-huh. And I feel like I could still do both at the same time.
Well, that's what you
feel.
I
have kids.
That's what you feel. And see, and I'm gonna just be dead honest with you. Mm-hmm. The leverage is on this side,
right?
Not yours. Both men will date you. Both men will sleep with you. Only neither will marry you. That's just what it comes down to. Neither will marry you. So what it is what we haven't got to, you're coming from a place of, you're projecting fear, scarcity, and lack. Mm. That's why you need to have your career and everything else, because what if my marriage doesn't work? What if this? What if that? What if I get lost doing all this other stuff? So really, a man at this level would just be hiring you for your DNA. He'd be hiring you to impregnate you, for you to carry the child, to make the child, and then someone else will go raise that child while you're off being a media correspondent, fulfilling your purpose and dream. That's not what these men typically want. But let's be honest, do you really think that, are you really coming from a place where you think your marriage is going to last for 40, 50 years?
Yeah, I truly do.
Okay, then why would you want someone else to raise your children?
I think I've seen my mom do both. So I'm assuming that I can also accomplish that.
How many children does your mom have?
Just me.
There we go. Ding, 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 ding. Only child syndrome. No, baby girl.
Okay.
No. You're an attractive woman, but that ain't enough. Mm. I mean, and what you're telling me, ma'am, if I put you in a room with these men, you fast realize how out of step with your competition you really are, just by the femininity these ladies exude, mm-hmm. their willingness to be the first lady, versus you would more likely be over in a conversation with the men wanting to exchange opinions.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that would make great sex, but no thank you. So you have to ask yourself a question. If that's most important to you, then you're talking about a completely different kind of man. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a man who's making closer to $50,000, $70,000 a year, if you're fortunate. Mm-hmm. Could you respect the man making that kind of money? Mm-hmm. But you're also talking about a quality of life to where you making 50, he's making 70. Y'all not living in Buckhead. You're not driving BMW. You driving Honda Civics. You're not going to Hermes and Dior. Don't be going over shops in Buckhead. Yeah. Every now and then, y'all may be able to go to Papa though on your anniversary or something.
Right.
Can you really live that life?
I don't think so.
Exactly. I'm looking at you now. So the thing is, man, I feel so sorry for so many of our young sisters, because you all want this inflated lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And that's fine to want it, but the kind of men, you wouldn't want to date a man that's 45. But then who else is going to make the money? An athlete, entertainer, or a musician, or a D-boy? What this shows more than anything else is men and women that focus so much on who they are. And the world has let you guys do this on what you want, to where you've had to focus nothing on who the men actually are, what the men actually want. So you don't mean to, but you're really dissing a whole group of men by pedestalizing this group of men, but you're not even giving these men what they want.
Right.
And sadly, so many of our sisters are stuck in this position because of the ego and the pride that comes along with what you're talking about. It's not as though, yes, there are women who can do both, but Jeannie Mai has no children.
Yeah.
And her first marriage failed miserably because she didn't want kids, and he did. He went off and got married and had kids. So, and then complicate this with being an only child kind of thing. A lot of moving parts there, man. A lot of moving parts.
Okay.
I think you need to take some real time to figure out really what you need, not what you want.
Okay.
What you want may be one thing, but what do you need? Because if your family are from Jamaica, I mean, it ain't like you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth. So why are you so bougie now?
You just, as I've gotten older, I've learned to spoil myself. So.
On whose money?
My own money.
Making $50,000 a year?
I mean, so during the day, I still work in real estate. And then, of course, as a media correspondent, I have to pick up my gigs on the weekends.
Okay. But it still nets to a certain amount of money.
Right.
How you spoiling yourself without the money? I'ma spoil myself. Does that mean you roll up in the Cartier and it is what it is? Like, can you do that at 28 on your income?
No.
Then you can't spoil yourself, baby girl. But see, the confidence in which so many of you young professional sisters talk is like, well, this is just it's almost like you're coming off as though, I don't want to use the word an imposter, but it's like, what are you talking about? I mean, I don't want to get too deep into how much you make, but with 28, a media correspondent, I would assume you between 40 and 75, and that's being generous. And that's with all your gigs and everything else.
Right.
That's a nice apartment and a car note. That's be able to go to La Billa Bouquet every now and then, but really, men that you date will probably pick up the slack. But that's fine. They're going to want something for that. So if you end up being closer to the norm for media correspondents, closer to the median income, not the Jeannie Mai, because that's far the exception.
Right.
And you look at everybody on that panel. Lonnie Love does not look like one of the happiest people in the world, and she got a broken painter. And Lonnie, you used to talk a lot of shit about black men, so you got it coming.
Right.
And then she got a reformed Jeezy. But if you stick closer to what most people make, that means you're not going to be making over 6 figures. Do you really want to go the rest of your life because you need to be independent in your sense of self to where you end up 50 years old with a middling career as a correspondent, news here, this, such and so forth? I mean, you're doing okay, but you can't travel and go to Paris, and it's not on your own money.
Right.
What does that look like after you're no longer able to sit in the anchor chair? Or you no longer have this youthful view, but they bring in the next group of women. What does that look like? Because then you can't turn around and try to be like, well, now I'm ready to get married. No. You
too old. Yeah.
You're in the danger zone for a reason. This is the age where you ladies really have to make up your mind. Either I'm going to couple with the man of value and I'm going to figure something out, or I'm going to go this life by myself and I'm going to take what it gives me. And this path is not one I recommend because it's highly competitive and no one's going to give you anything. And this path tends to end up in a lot of loneliness. So unless you know you are 100% willing to commit, and that means cutting off marriage and kids and all that other stuff, because to make this work, you can't serve two masters. You got to pick a side. I hate to break it that way, but just think about it. Just think about it. But you can't have everything.
Can't have it all.
And you want it all plus some, plus some, plus some.
Yes. So. I tried it.
All right. Have a good day.
Thanks,
Bye. Bye.